What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'm here with
Gersh One,
also part of One Mind Syndicate. And guess what? We're back at it to answer your questions in another 40K Q&A titled For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. Also, if you want to support the channel, you can. Hit us up with a super thanks. That super thanks, you could ask us anything you want and we will answer it guaranteed in the next episode. And it also helps us support the little squiggly beasts that are running around. We might get interrupted because there is a squiggly beast running around right now. And I hope you all know that squiggly, or squig is short for squiggly beast. So that's what I'm referring to, a squig. Next question, or this first question.
This first question comes to us by Sudokus. His question is, what are your guys' thoughts on GW streaming service? Will it continue or is it dead in the water already? Let's be real. GW scammed us.
Big time.
Come on. Warhammer Plus was like a huge thing. Like they were going after animators saying, take all your GW stuff off the internet. Only we can give you GW animations. And they did for about 2 months. Then it slowly petered down. And then it's been dry for what? Half a year? And we still haven't even gotten Astartes 2.
Whoever decided in Games Workshop to go after animators and like hit them with like don't do this and work
cease
for
and
us
desist, yeah,
is just like stupid. The whole team was just ridiculous. And then for Games Workshop to create Warhammer Plus and create lore videos, battle reports, and all that kind of stuff, when in reality what you could have done is say, hey, we're opening up this new YouTube style platform. If you're a content creator on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, come over and post on the Warhammer Plus and we'll put it behind a paywall and we'll give you a cut of the earnings like YouTube is doing, like TikTok is doing. That would have been really good. But no, Games Workshop just gave us mediocre. Well, not mediocre, right?
Some of it is good. Some of it, let's be honest, is mediocre.
Yeah. And then I think you can find everything now on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, it's funny. People just take the clips from there, put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Mirror it, part 1, part 2, part 3, etc. So you can watch everything on there. The only reason why anybody would get Warhammer Plus is because it gives you the free subscription to their app, and you get a free model once a year.
Yeah, so I don't think that Warhammer Plus is dead in the water because of that. Like, there is still some use to it. But I think as far as putting animations out there, when you're letting or not even letting, but it's inevitable that the content is going to be shown on a website at some point. Yeah, people are not going to pay money to watch Astartes Part 2 unless it's a really epic thing.
And here's the thing. It's been out for what? Almost 2 years now?
Yeah.
You could literally subscribe for 1 month and watch everything on there and still have days left over in that month.
That month, yeah.
That is bad.
Yeah. So Games Workshop, Warhammer Plus was not a good thing.
Yeah. It gave you bad PR when it came out because of all the cease and desist stuff. You guys promised us Astartes 2. Haven't seen a lick of that at all. Not even like, oh, subscribe for, October of this year. Nothing. Like, come on.
Yeah. On the same topic of cinematic trailers and stuff, Revolver2750 says, did you guys watch the Exodite Warhammer miniseries? No, I saw the trailer for it, but I did not watch the actual miniseries.
Yeah, the Exodite is the one about the Tau.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked interesting, but again, it was locked behind Warhammer Plus. We didn't get Warhammer Plus, and I feel like we didn't miss anything by skipping out on it.
No, we could probably find it on YouTube if we really wanted to, but the fact that we haven't is a sign that, like, I'm trying to think, like, what is it about that stuff that just makes me not want to watch it? I don't know what it is. Maybe because it's a Tau Empire and I'm not really interested in the Tau Empire, but I think that Games Workshop, if they want, I think they have the too many chefs in the kitchen kind of thing. Like, they want to focus on the cinematic world of Warhammer 40K, but at the same time, those same people want to focus on the battle report or the tabletop, and then also the codec or the books and stuff like that. I think they need to break up even further and like really have a division just for the cinematic stuff, a division just for the tabletop. And if they do, they're doing a bad job.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so bad when like I love anthologies, and one of the things that Warhammer Plus has is Hammer and Bolter, which is just short stories set in the 40k universe, and even that, like the first, what was it? The Orc anthology, the Orc mini episode thing, came out for free to kind of get you guys in here, and what did it have? Bad animation,
Yeah.
story wasn't that good. People were complaining, saying if this is the best that GW has to show us, that's not going to bring people in.
I think the worst part too is they made orcs goofy.
Too goofy. Like
Yeah.
orcs are already supposed to be goofy, but like you don't really get much of their brutal side.
No, the best way to portray the brutality of the orcs is to show that orcs don't hesitate from enslaving humans.
Mhm.
They don't hesitate from eating humans. They will kill each other just for fun, and I think that from what I remember, the cinematic stuff was they were part of a rock band or something.
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were sitting around a campfire telling stories.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like GW can produce amazing animations. The 9th edition trailer, really good. The only good animation thing that I've seen from Warhammer Plus is the Salamander's Pariah Nexus when they're fighting against the orcs.
Yeah.
Or the Necrons. And like that's part of, or it looks almost identical to the 9th edition trailer. So it's like if they can just keep this going, it could do really well. But again, it's just too little, and it's just not enough from Warhammer Plus.
True. So did we watch the Exodite? No. Right.
Can we? Yeah. Will we? Probably not.
Next question comes from Sea Captain Nemo. What would make you quit a game midway through? It's happened a lot.
Yes. We usually stop games at like what, turn 3?
Yeah, and the reason we usually stop a tabletop game is because we get hungry.
Yeah. These games go on for a while.
Yeah. The big problem is that I feel because we get new codex, new rules, new everything, we don't have time to really sit with our army and know it so that when, turns come up, we know what unit has to do what. Because even the player that really focuses on like, okay, Terminators are good at this, so they're going to do this. That kind of player, he takes forever on deciding where to move and how to move and all that kind of stuff. And I think that really slows down a game. And you get tired of just sitting there and waiting for your opponent, especially when you get really big games and you get a lot of units.
Mm-hmm. Not just that, but sometimes by turn 3, you can kind of see how the game is progressing, where it's like, okay, you're beating me by 10 points. I have to take this objective, hold it, take that guy out. What are the chances of me actually doing it? So you can almost even like pre-plan the next couple of turns to see if you're going to win, if it's even worth to play out.
Yeah.
So I feel like that paired with like, oh, I'm hungry as fuck, really kind of just says, all right, well, you got the game. Let's go eat.
Yeah, and Games Workshop this edition has tried to like
streamline it.
Yeah, and they also have these rules where you have secondary objectives, but then you also have these other objectives. I forget what they're called, but they're the ones that like you can play if you are really down in points.
Oh, that's right.
And you can come back, but you only get 3 options, and out of those 3 options, it never really works.
Mm-hmm.
So is that something that stops me from playing tabletop? No, because I still enjoy building the army and like the excitement of playing for the first 3 turns. But maybe if Games Workshop just shortened the instead of saying go to turn 5, go to turn 3.
But I feel like that's taking away out of some armies that really do good in the latter half.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, the Death Guard, they're slow, so they might not even get to close combat by the end of turn 3. Because of how slow it is, the maneuverability of the other armies and stuff like that. So I think 5 turns is okay. I feel like we just need to learn the armies better to kind of make it go by quicker.
Yeah.
And again, that's just more prep work for the games. And I don't know if that's just going too far.
Yeah, but I don't think you should ever be ashamed to call it quits. Because I know that when we were playing our narrative campaigns, you want to make it to the end because every unit killed acts as an experience point or whatever thing. Like you're earning things as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you would feel that if a game is one-sided you're going to continue to play the game, but you're not playing for yourself. You're playing for the
kills.
Yeah. That and then the guy who's doing better, because there's no way my squad of orc boys is going to be able to kill his, I don't know, custody unit or whatever. So in that situation, I'm really just waiting to give you that point. So why not just and then say, yeah, I'll give you that point. So I think that's kind of a challenge.
Yeah. The other thing too is like, yeah, you could pre-plan and kind of like assume this is how it's going to be, but it's a game of chance. Like you're rolling dice. The dice could be entirely out of your favor, and like that 1% chance of something happening could actually happen.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that like you can never really fully control.
Yeah. But yeah. You have another question, Sea Captain Nemo. You said no Facebook anymore. What happened?
Who's on Facebook at all?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are still on Facebook, but what happened was that with Instagram and Facebook, you need to have a personal page, and then that personal page needs to be attached to a business page. That's how the current system is now. But back then, we created the One Mind Syndicate page as like a business page, I guess you could say.
I think so, yeah.
And then they made the switch, and then when that happened, we got blocked out of it.
Yeah, we got locked out. I managed to get it back, and then when I was posting, they're like, oh, this is spam posts. And it's like, well, you can't post for this many hours. I'm like, well, what the heck?
Yeah.
So it's like I can't even post at all, and then we got locked out again.
And now it's just gone. I don't think you could even. I don't think it's a thing.
Even if so, I think it would be like starting from scratch, but at the same time, like the community tab on YouTube also kind of did the same thing. So it's not really that much of a detriment.
Yeah. The only thing that I think might be fun is to create a Discord. And I've talked to you guys about maybe bringing a Patreon. And if you're a Patreon supporter, which is just $1 a month, you have access to a Discord. And the Discord, we would be able to communicate with you guys one-on-one instead of just the comments or the community page. Because it's hard to answer the community questions and also the comments. There's a lot.
There is, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah. And then last question. I have one from Austin Palmer. If you had to see a new orc name character, what would it be like rules? Or what would it be like rules, looks, etc.?
So creating a new orc character, it's interesting because I feel like the orcs, like their characters go all over the place. You've got like the normal looking like Big Macs and like war bosses and stuff, and then you've got like Captain Badrock, and then you got like pirates and snake bites and stuff like that. So I think the orcs have a really good understanding of what they can do, and I think the one thing they haven't done, which would be interesting, is to make an HQ that's also a flyer, because you could do orc planes and stuff like that. So I think having a unit attached to like some type of flyer to bolster your aerial prowess of the orcs would be really interesting.
Like an orc version of Amelia Earhart.
There you go. Because then you could have Coptas, you could have planes. It'd be really interesting to see how that would look.
Yeah, that would be really cool. You mentioned Badrock. I think that we need a freebooter character that's not goofy. Because, like, Badrock, his thing, like, it's brutally funny. He wanted to get a hat that he liked from this Imperial agent. So he, like, slaughtered an entire regiment in order just to get a hat. That's hilarious, right? But it's a little goofy. If we just got a freebooter war boss that acted like the old school orcs, where like a freebooter was just a mix match of different orc types that are usually not okay in like regular, like proper clans. So Gene Stealer orcs, Coronet orcs, that kind of stuff, that'd be really cool.
Crude orcs would be interesting.
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of like fan art for that, and they look cool.
Yeah, and they used to do a bunch of kit bashes back in the day. I think the codex was called Here We Go. And it had all of this stuff, all the freebooter kit bash ideas. But yeah. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and listening, and we'll talk tomorrow.
That's right. Keep those questions coming, and so will we, with answers and other stuff. It's been the Sound Alchemist,
Gershwan,
and we are out.
Always used to put my freedom